What is going on, y'all? This is Pay Me in Dividends, and today is January 9th, 2025. My portfolio value as of today is $88,630. Now, my holdings have remained the same. I still have 1,000 shares of AIPI, 1,000 shares of MSTY, 200 shares of RDTE, and 100 shares of NVDY. Now, today what I want to talk about is I want to talk about two dividend ETFs that are a bit alternative to your traditional high yield covered call ETFs. Now, the first one I want to look at is SVOL, SVOL. Now, this one I was aware of already for a few months now, but there's another one that I found as well by Volatility Shares called ZVOL, ZVOL. Now, before we get into these, the reason I want to talk about these is I want to make you guys aware of a couple alternative high yield ETFs that you could possibly put on your watch list, take a look at them, do a bit more research, and then you decide whether or not it's a good investment. But I just wanted to put it on your radar so that you have an additional option to add to your portfolio. Now, before we get into these, I just want to cover one of the more popular funds that we see on the market so that we can see the difference in contrast between the more popular ETFs compared to these other two ETFs in this video. So we're going to use FEPI as an example, right? FEPI. Now, FEPI, the way they make money, the way they extract premium is they own tech stocks, they write covered calls, and then they earn income from those covered calls, right? They extract the premium from those covered calls, and then they pay you out a distribution from those covered calls. So in FEPI's case, what they do is they own a basket of stocks. As you can see here, they have NVIDIA, they have Google, Facebook, Intel, AMD, so on and so forth. And then they write covered calls on this ETF in order to extract option premium so that they can pay you out a dividend. And this is how most of these high yield dividends operate for the most part. Of course, not every ETF is created equally, but for the most part, this is what they're doing, right? They're either buying some sort of underlying asset, whether it's an individual company or a basket of companies or the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, and then they are performing options on that underlying asset. They're extracting the option premium and then paying you out a dividend. Now, the two that I want to talk about in this video are doing something a bit different, right? So I want to give you guys the actual definition of what it is they're doing. And so basically, we'll take a look at SVOL first, right? So they seek to provide investment results before fees and expenses that correspond approximately 1/5 to 3/10 the inverse of the performance of the Volatility Index, which is the VIX. Now, what is the VIX, right? So let's look at it. Let's look at what the VIX is. So the Volatility Index. The VIX index allows you, it is one of the most recognized indicators of expected market volatility and is widely followed as a daily market indicator. Now, this is how it works, right? So the Volatility Index, or the VIX, is the annualized implied volatility of a hypothetical S&P 500 stock option with 30 days to expiration. The price of this option is based on the prices of near-term S&P 500 options traded on the CBOE. So basically what this is doing is the VIX is measuring the volatility of the S&P 500, and it has become a benchmark for the US stock market, right? So the VIX is just, it's the volatility of the market. So again, it's something that you may want to do more research on. But again, it's an alternative way to extract income from the market that is different from your popular dividend ETFs, which will allow you to implement even more diversification into your portfolio in order to mitigate some risk. So I want to take a look at both of these, right? So SVOL is at about $20 as of today, and they pay, I believe they pay about a 20% yield. Let's see if we can find it here. So they pay, so actually distribution rate as of November 30th, 2024, it looks like they pay about a 14 to 15% yield, right? And if we look at the distribution history, let's open this up, we can see that they've actually been paying out since 2021. Now the payments did fluctuate in the beginning a bit, and then it looks like they became almost a fixed rate or a fixed distribution at 32 cents a share. And over the past this looks like mid 2023 through 2024, it looks like it's actually been dropping. So I don't know, again, you guys be the judge of whether or not you think this is a good investment. But again, they pay monthly and they perform an alternative strategy outside of your popular dividend ETFs in order to give you a bit more diversification. Again, this is not investment advice. I personally don't think that I'll invest in this, but it is an alternative. It is an option. It is something that you can put on your watch list and possibly invest into in the future, depending on how it continues to perform. What I did notice is that the share price does not move much. If we zoom out to inception, it looks like it started at about $25. As of today, it's at $20. But for the most part, it hasn't moved much. The variance hasn't been too wide. If we look at the 52-week low, it's at $19 and the 52-week high is at $23. So it looks like it remains somewhat stable. Again, for me personally, I don't think I would invest in this because it is still down all time. But again, they use a different strategy which will give you some diversification in your portfolio. Now, the other one I want to look at is ZVOL, which is one that I just came across today. And it seems like they implement sort of the same strategy as well. Now, this one is a bit newer. It's been out since April of 2023, whereas SVOL came out back in 2021. And since inception, it is actually up. It's actually up 26% since April of 2023. Now, ZVOL also pays a 30% dividend yield, right? So the yield is a bit higher, about double of SVOL, and the price performance has done significantly better in that same time frame compared to SVOL. Now, let's look at the strategy that they implement, right? So ZVOL seeks to provide a monthly income stream and alternative source of diversification while monetizing the premium in the VIX futures term structure, right? So again, going back to the definition, they are playing off of the market volatility. So they're not necessarily investing into any particular company or index. Well, they are investing into the VIX index, but not your traditional S&P or NASDAQ or big tech or any particular company. But it's really just playing off the VIX, which is a prediction of the future volatility, basically in the summarized version. So again, this is something that I'm not too familiar with. Again, I'm still trying to understand exactly how the VIX works and how they're actually able to extract premium. And remember, guys, like I've mentioned in other videos before, I do not invest my money into anything that I do not completely understand. So as of now, I do not plan on investing in either of these ETFs, but I just wanted to put it on your radar. I wanted to make you aware so that you have a couple more ETFs that you can put on your watch list and possibly put money into in the future once you have a better understanding of this investment, and if you decide that it's actually an investment that's worthwhile. So I'm gonna cut this short. I'm gonna cut this video short, guys. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I did want to make you guys aware of these two ETFs. So again, the first one is SVOL from Simplify ETFs, and the second one is ZVOL. So let's go back to the channel. Again, as always, guys, I appreciate you. I'm very appreciative. We're at 689 subscribers. We're so close to 700 people joining the team. As always, I appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about these two ETFs? Did you know about them already? Are these new to you? Are there any other ETFs that perform similar strategies as well that may be outperforming these? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel, and I will catch y'all in the next video.